Hi, I'm Daniel Sturridge and you're watching Redmen TV.
Hello, welcome to Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored match build-up show. Liverpool taking on FC Sion in the Europa League. Woo! Chris Page, Graeme, Kelly and Jack Harte here. I know what I am actually moderately excited. I'm certainly a lot more excited for this game, Chris, than I was or I would have been prior to actually winning a game of football, which Liverpool did.
Yes.
At the weekend.
Oh yeah. It's a tough one because I don't think I'm quite there yet. I think if it was any other game but the derby afterwards, I'd probably be more excited for this one. But with such a big game looming, I kind of just want to fast forward and get to the derby weekend and get into that, you know.
It's a weird one, isn't it, Greg? Because I don't really know how we're going to approach this match. Because I think Chris is right to some extent. I guess it's how you want to continue to build on the positive performance. So it was fine against Bordeaux. It was all right against Norwich. I know ultimately we went to penalties, but we fucking progressed in the League Cup, and then we beat Aston Villa, even though there was some shit moments in that. It's I feel like we just need to keep fucking winning football matches. But Chris is right. You then start to think, don't really care enough when the derby's on that. It's bad, isn't it? We should just be going into this game and just winning it.
I think we should just go and play a team that can beat Sion. You know, they're not a dominant world force, are they, within football?
They sound like they should be with their name.
Yeah.
Imposing.
Yeah. But I was looking at this before the season. I thought we had a squad of good players. We didn't have a squad of excellent players, but they're all of a similar level. So if you drop or put a few in, it shouldn't really change the dynamic.
That was the beginning of the season, though.
Yeah. That was until West Ham at home. No, but in all seriousness, we should be able to play people like, Gomez, Enrique, if we not Lovren because he's injured, but these players that shouldn't really play should be able to play and give people like Origi time and stuff against this sort of team. Rossiter. The list goes on. We've got that many of them. I know he's injured again, but Firmino, he needs a bit of time on the pitch because he needs match fitness and he needs to get his strength up.
I think that's the big issue, isn't it? Though the injuries we kind of had, Jack, it does all of a sudden was starting to limit the things you can actually do with that team, because whether we like it or not, that the derby has to be factored in to some extent. And I mean, I don't know quite how the manager goes about doing that, but ultimately that's his job to sort it out, isn't it? But you'd look at it and say, you're damn right, Firmino would absolutely be involved in this game for me if he was available. Lovren would probably come back in again if he was available. Lallana's got to be involved, but you would under normal circumstances, like Lucas would definitely play this game because you'd have Henderson and Milner starting in the week. Milner's absolutely shouldn't be playing this game, etc., etc. So there's big questions. I think Graham's right. For me, the fact that we probably should have beaten Bordeaux, and the fact that we never looked that badly, like getting battered or anything, and that was quite a tough, by all accounts, one of the tougher away games. The squad we've got, even with injuries, should be capable. Without playing our first team, whatever that may be, of getting a job.
But the game on Sunday is also, looms large, doesn't it? One of the things we've seen that we try and do in these games is play a couple of the players who we'd like to see in other positions. We give Gomez a go on the right of a three a couple of weeks ago, Emre Can in the midfield, and then we tend to revert back in the league games. That's where maybe a couple of injuries start upsetting things, because it sort of goes back to the way you've discussed multiple changes in the past and only wanting to make 2 or 3 changes, and suddenly a couple of injuries and wanting to move a few players around mean that you're changing 11, even if it's not necessarily 11 new names, it's 11 people doing different jobs, and that complicates things a bit, and we need to maintain a bit of the flow, because the results haven't been fantastic in the last 2 weeks, but I mean, I could see things in that Norwich game that I can see we've built on since, and we just need to carry on doing that. It's hard to do that making 9 changes. And then again, the Everton.
Do you play Sturridge? Because he needs.
That's a big question.
I don't. I'll take the loss on the Thursday if I have to. We shouldn't at home, and I'd love to see kids like Chiravella play and things like this. I watched him in the reserves. I went to about 6 or 7 games. Was it last season or the season before last? And he was absolute head and shoulders above the other lads. Yeah. I'd love to see them players blooded in this competition.
I think the question is, again, but this is the thing, is that in terms of the negativity surrounding the club and all that, we need to keep going. And the question, Chris, and I guess because this is as much your role, I guess, in a lot of the content, is that would you say that the team that started the weekend is now your first choice 11, and then you work on a variation from there for the Europa League game?
I think so. I think you've got to. I mean, I would be tempted to stick with the same back six, if you will. You know, mainly the 3 centre-backs and the 2 wing-backs. The only change that I might make would be maybe Skirtle for Gomez or maybe Chan for Gomez, one of those.
I'd be tempted to go Chan for Gomez and use Chan instead of Milner. Yeah.
I think that would be the smart thing, because I think Milner does so much running that you need to give him a little bit of a rest. You also get to see Chan in a more
We're going to play
role.
Lallana as well.
That's the problem, isn't it? I think Lallana's a straight swap for Coutinho. The front three can go as a 2 and a 1, or a 1 and a 2. The rest of the system stays the same for me.
Yeah. This is just like conversations. Joe Allen comes straight back into the team for me. So that's
For
the problem
Lucas,
for potentially for Lucas. But the thing it is about Emre Can is that I kind of, if you're not going to play him in the part of the back 3, I don't see the point of playing him in midfield. Either I kind of like
the only
rest
point
him
is to rest Milner.
Yeah, exactly. So what I mean is maybe Jordan Rossiter keeps his place from Bordeaux, but he plays alongside Allen, takes over from Milner or something like that. You know what I mean? And that because he does a bit more of the mobile stuff, pressing higher up the pitch, something like that. Because again, if you're gonna rest people, you do need to rest some. I think because I think your key players, like I don't know how on earth we do it, but it'd be lovely to keep someone like Moreno fresh, just because he's had such an impact in the last few games with his pace and his running and stuff.
But we do have Enrique. If we can get him away from taking selfies, he should be able to. Oh no, he's not.
Yeah, so that's that again. It's a slight concern over that kind of thing. Is how do you rest keepers? Is it just a case of because look who we rested? Like we didn't take Benteke, we didn't take Milner, we didn't take Skirtle, we didn't take Lovren. We didn't take Klein last time when we went to Bordeaux. We played Jordan Ibe on right wing back. There's maybe a case to do that again. You're at home. He came on, didn't he? Against in the League Cup in that role. So maybe there's a case for that.
We're already up to 5 or 6 changes, aren't we? That's the problem. Yeah. I think I always say it. Maybe 2 to 3 changes is probably fine for me. Like that's me. Rodgers is going to be completely different.
I think if it was in terms of league game to league game, I would fully agree with that. But in terms of you've got to rotate and make the best of your squad when you're playing European games to some extent.
I suppose the difference is that Rodgers hasn't got the luxury of being able to make wholesale changes and take a defeat. Because the crowd will just turn on again. You know, he hasn't got that luxury. Maybe if we were doing well in the league and we'd had a good start to the season, he'd be able to make a lot of changes and take a defeat.
I think,
but he hasn't got time.
I think the problem we're faced with is, like I say, you can look at Bordeaux and go 1-1 was sound. You know, we should have probably come away with the 4 points from that, but we'll with the 3 points. But
not at home.
Yeah, exactly. At home, this is where you need to win your home games in Europe to make life easy for yourself as much as possible. So you definitely need to go for it. So maybe there is a case to say, and football often doesn't work out this way, but give Daniel Sturridge 60 because if he's fit, he's fit.
Thing is, look what happened with Benteke's injury. Daniel Sturridge ends up playing for probably longer than he was supposed to, and then all of a sudden, you change things for Benteke, and then the next substitute was Firmino, which means that he needed to change the formation. That's the problem with giving someone like Sturridge 60 before you've even started. It's one of your subs. You're not planning for anything else.
I guess there's also potentially questions because you play. We're away on Sunday against the Blues. Do you play 2 up top anyway? You know what I mean? So there's a case maybe, and I asked the question actually. Joel Thomas sent this in via Facebook. Said, would you give Origi and Ings a chance together on Thursday? I would be tempted to go with that. I would be tempted to kind of just potentially swap Sturridge out for Origi, so you can keep a lot of the similar kind of stuff to what you're doing. Make Ings more of the main man, I guess, up front.
I'd be tempted, right? But I haven't seen anything that he wants to partner Origi with anybody, because the only time that Origi started, he played up on his own, didn't he? So whether that's...
I'll be honest, at this moment, with, as you say, it's... With Everton on Sunday, that's our everything at the moment, isn't it? Yeah. We've got to rest Sturridge, in my opinion. If he goes and tears his thigh playing against Sion, and we win it 3-0 or we get beat 1, whatever it is, it'll still be shit. There's nothing. There's no result there that would appease us if Sturridge gets an injury against them, he does not play.
So
He's probably, as we said, we don't have any world class players, none. The chance of having maybe Coutinho and Sturridge could be world class with time.
I think there should be a case to be made, and I think again it's a little bit of negativity he's keeping in because it's still there. A couple of half decent performances and one win does not turn everyone right back on side to the bright side of the road or whatever. But you've got to look at it and say FC Sion, for whatever, good on them for being where they are and blah blah blah. But ultimately, you're at Anfield. They're never going to be a fucking top level European side. And I feel like this is all going to come back to haunt me on Thursday night. But
he's seeing on my knowledge vibe.
I know, yeah. But Ings and Origi with Lallana behind them should have enough in it to be able to fucking score some goals against them at Anfield.
I trust Lallana to score against any team that's of a lesser quality than us.
Yeah.
The way we've played the last couple of games, that we've asked Coutinho to play a much deeper role, haven't we? I mean, I'd argue for much of the game he was behind Milner really the other day. Milner was getting ahead of, well, he spent an awful lot of time ahead of Coutinho. I don't know if we can do that with Lallana instead of Coutinho. I don't know if that's his game. And if we're changing the two up top, if we're weakening, for want of a better expression, the two up top compared to the weekend and compared to what we will play, I think it's asking changes from the midfield as well. And more than anything, I'd just like to see us stick with the shape and the way we're going to play. Yeah. So do we trust? Maybe we trust Adam Lallana with that, and we tell him to go in there and play a central midfield role.
He's a 10, I think.
Maybe been a making of him.
I think, and he's got to be able to do it because again, I keep saying this: if Lallana can't deliver in these games, what games does he deliver in? And that's got and similarly with Jordan Ibe. I know a wing back role is not his natural role, but if he can't deliver in these games in those kind of situations, then it's time to ship him back out on loan, and we're gonna look to find someone who can do that job because this way. I think the only problem we've got, I think the big issues there is that the left wing back slot is that I can't see who's coming in to relieve Moreno anytime soon from that role. So he probably plays. I'd say let me throw a team out then. So Mignolet will start.
No Bogdan after his pen heroics.
No, absolutely not. Mignolet will start. I think Sacco will start. I think Gomez will start. I don't know who. I think actually Colo's fit, isn't he? So it'll be Sacco, Colo, Gomez. I think is the back three. I think I will play right wing back. I think it'll be Allen and another. But I'd like it to be Rossiter because, again, he was good enough to play away from home in that game. Why not play him in this game? And then Lallana with Ings and Origi up front. That'd be fine by me.
I'd go with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd like that team to be fair.
I'm kind of with Jack. I'd like to see the same system as we played last time, really, and that was more 3 in the midfield as opposed to a 10.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that for the starting 11 prediction show.
Okay, great. Let us know your thoughts on how you think we've pushed the line up in the comments below. Thanks very much, Joel Thomas. We didn't completely answer your question. I think the answer was yes and no. Score predictions, Jack. What are you going for?
Glorious European night under the floodlights, 1-0 home win.
Graeme?
3-0 Liverpool.
Very nice. Chris?
3-1, because if our first team can't keep a clean sheet, there ain't no way in hell a Colo Touré led defence can.
Yeah, I think that. I think 1-0 or 2-1. I think the fact that we had loads of goals, it also came from the fact that Daniel Sturridge is amazing. He's clearly not going to play. He'll struggle. It'll be tighter than it probably should be, but we'll win. I'll like up 2-1. Yeah, so. Score predictions, as always, in the comments section below. Do check out the rest of the content on the redmentv.com. Thank you very much again to Joel Thomas for sending the question. Hopefully we'll do a little bit more of that if I remember in the future. So if you have questions, send them in via Twitter or via the Facebook page. Do go check out some of the things because I'm a shameless promoter. I've got a new YouTube channel that isn't totally Liverpool focused, Retro Football TV. Go and check that out.
Should have lied to them and said it was Liverpool focused.
Absolutely Liverpool focused. Looking at some of the best and weirdest things in football's past, particularly focused on old football games as well. So
you've already managed to sell one ex-Liverpool player?
I have. No, I never. That was Retro Football TV. Jason McAtee doesn't like one of the videos we've done, and for good reason. Go check out youtube.com/Retro Football TV. It's good, you'll enjoy it. Anyway, gents, thanks very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you all post-match.
Personally, I would like to see the exact same back three. I would like to see Martin Skirtling there and Emre Can.